Hello everyone. Welcome back to another Lore Link stream. Once again, we're going to be continuing our ongoing adventure planning for the quest for the Frozen Flame. So I believe I mentioned before, this has been a very long time campaign. We've been running this for a couple of years now, and it's probably going to go on for at least another year before we get through it. My group meets about once a month, so we get through it as quickly as we can, but it's been a lot of fun. Really enjoyed doing it. But what it means is that every single month I have to do a little bit of planning for the campaign. So it's a great opportunity to share with you what I do, how I approach it, and we can go through it together. So please let me know if you have any comments or questions. Happy to address any of those as we go through it. If you have any suggestions or things about how you would approach planning differently, please let me know. If you are playing in Quest for the Frozen Flame, now's the perfect opportunity to let you know that there will be spoilers because I'm going to show you some of the content that goes into the game. So do be aware of that if you are planning on playing this game at some point. That said, let me go ahead and jump into planning the next session. So we've got session 17 and 18 now, which have been run. I'm going to go ahead and schedule the next session. We've got a session 19, and we're going to pop that up here. I am planning on running that this weekend. So we're going to come in here and add just a couple of notes. We're going to kick things off here. They're near, not in, B26. Spending the night in a cozy cabin. That's become kind of the everyday type of thing. Worth noting, party should be level 6 at the start of the day. They got enough XP to level up to 6 at the end of the last session, so that was fun. Let's go ahead and tag a couple locations in here. Pulling up a map, so I can actually look that up. So in here, go ahead and pull up. I use tabs a lot when I'm going through this, so can have a lot of things open at the same time. So I'm still running a little bit behind on getting some of the locations in, because they went a completely different direction than I expected them to last time. So I need to get caught up on getting some of the stuff in. So that'll be a little bit of a thing here. So my voice is just a little bit quiet in Twitch. Because Kevin, is that a celestial seasoning tea flavor? Yeah, about that. All right, let me see about bumping up my audio. I am maxed out here. Try another place. There we go. Is that any better? That should be theoretically a lot higher volume on my microphone. Apologize for being quiet earlier. Very good. Okay, cool. So coming in here, I'm going to fill in a few of these little details. They ended up in 26. They ended up going up the long way. So we'll get that figured out here in just a second. I now know, because they told me in the last adventure, in the last session, what they're planning on doing. So they're going to be They came up here to 26. They're going to finish exploring this area. They did find, they were looking for the sibling to the dryad they met down here. They found that dryad, but the dryad was a husk in bad condition. So they're going to have to go actually track him down because they got a glimpse of him, were able to identify what it was, but now they need to go find his tree and try to deal with him, at which point they're going to try to rush straight back to the dryad and do their best to try to save him. So I know what's going on, which means that I know exactly what to plan for, which is great. It's fantastic. Once they get all through all of that, their plan was originally to kind of come around counterclockwise and head this way. That's what they decided at the start. So I wasn't quite prepared for that. So I'm going to do that. It sounds like they're probably, when they come back through, they're going to come through, try to deal with this mountain and see some of the highlights on here. So I basically need to finish 18 through 29 in terms of regional planning on the location on the map here. So we're going to start at 26. They're definitely going to go to 27. So we're going to come back in here and tie a few things in. So I already saved that. I'm going to add a location. Oh, wait, but yeah, 26 and 27 don't exist yet. So let's go ahead and create those. Those are in Lost Mammoth Valley. So and just for fun, because it's nice to see what I'm actually working on sometimes, let me go ahead and switch to a different view for you. This is going to show you my whole screen, so you can see that I have the PDF of the adventure up right here. That's where I'm getting the information that I'm kind of copying in. I need to find the location. There it is, cold spot. It is terrain forest. That is a detail that I have been including in my descriptions. There's not really a lot of read aloud text in this adventure, which is, it's okay. It just means that I kind of need to come up with my own. When I have time in planning, I'll write a little bit. Otherwise, I'll just kind of wing it based upon the description itself. Since they've actually already been in here, I'm not going to bother adding the Kelthgars. So they're going to go to B27, so this will connect to B27. So let's go ahead and add B27 as well. That's the next thing they're going to do. The corrupted tree. That kind of gives you a pretty good indication already of what was going on. Not a lot of fun for the poor dryad. They're probably not going to have to worry about that perception check, but it could come up. They're going to be able to track him, I think, assuming they roll okay. There we go. Corrupted elder tree itself will attack them. And so we'll have to get that in here in just a second. I'm going to add those creatures in just a minute. The pine leshies can join the following when they save Bargot, so that could be interesting. Hopefully that works out for them, because I know that they would enjoy that. I accidentally put that all in the read aloud. That's not where I meant to have that. We're going to put that all in the description. There we go. Save that. Now we're going to go add some details. I'm going to come back in here. to the corrupted tree. I'm going to associate it with 26. There it is. Associate. And then I need to go ahead and create creatures. Okay. We'll start with the corrupted tree itself. Corrupted elder tree. Variant arboreal regent. Okay. Got an initiative and a hit points, weaknesses, resistances, but now I'm going to go look this up. Variant arboreal regent. And of course not, because that's not just an arboreal regent. Not a variant. There we go. So we'll start by linking this to Archives of Nethys, and then we're going to pull in some deeds. Did I close it? Did I close it? Nope, there it is. Apparently I did accidentally save it all the way out. There we go. We got some melee, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's what I need. So now we're going to add this creature. We're going to go ahead and create this as an event. Encounter with Bargot. We're going to find Bargot at the corrupted tree, because that's where he's going to be. That's the short description. I'm going to go ahead and save that. Encounter with Bargot. We're going to come in here and start connecting it to things. So the trigger is going to be the location. B27. We're going to associate it with the elder tree, the corrupted elder tree that I just had. Okay, perfect. Now I need to go ahead and create Bargot in here. So Bargot's not really a villain, kind of, but not really. We're going to create him as a creature. And so the short description is male dryad husk. And the full description is going to be all this. Okay, now I'll go back to that event. Encounter with Bargot. And we will add Bargot into it. And now I should be able to come into the locations here and come into the corrupted tree, we should theoretically, yep, encounter with Bargot is in fact linked in here, which means I can just click through to get to that associated encounter. That's going to allow me to very quickly pull up that encounter details with the creatures and everything that are in there. So that's what we want to accomplish with that connection. So that's all the stuff in there. So this is an interesting little bit of detail that we might want somewhere, but I'm not sure where we're going to want that. So what I'm going to do with that is actually go into Lost Mammoth Valley and add this as child descriptions. So wherever we find captives, we're going to get this additional detail. Cool. And so just to show how this works, so I've decided, because in the PDF I have this extra information, we could very easily start ending up in a situation where the parties are going to start encountering necromancers that they can subdue and talk to. Now if I go to any of these locations, let's go to the cold spot that we're just at. Now when I'm in here, it's even more interesting when I go to the view mode. I have the notes. Where are the notes? There it is. Notes from parents. Lost Mammoth Valley captives. So this is the information that gets pulled in from Lost Mammoth Valley. So I can see this information here. If there's any other details about the valley that applies to all the sublocations, I can drop that in as well. And it'll show up here when I'm just browsing around and running the game. So that's one of the cool things about shared information between locations that I like to use. Actually, let's go back into, so saved all that. Let's go back into the Mammoth Valley, look at the big map. So I've added 26 and 27. So what I can do now is add B26, and I can click here and add B27. Cool. So those are now on there, and if I mouse over them, they pop up the description of the location they're linked to. Right, so I prefix all my locations with the key that's here in the adventure, just because it makes it easier to tie it all together as I'm editing. Technically, once I'm done editing, if I wanted to go remove it everywhere, I could do that pretty easily and it wouldn't be a problem, but it doesn't bother me to have it in there. So I want to go ahead and go back and add B24 and 25 just for completeness, and B18. So let's do that really quickly. I'll just start from the beginning. 18, 24, 25. All right. Deserter encampment. Yeah. Not the name I would have given it, but that's fine. And so this is one of the things you'll notice sometimes when you're pulling information in from a PDF that's can be really annoying, is you'll notice that it's not wanting to text wrap correctly. So I've got to do like a line at a time. I know we've run into this in other streams, but it's annoying. I'm not entirely sure what causes that to happen, but it does make it take a little bit longer to pull things in, since I have to double clicking will select the word. Triple clicking grabs the entire line. So if you didn't know that trick, it is a lot more useful. It's a lot easier than trying to click and drag and click and drag to select things. Of course, it's also a motion that I'm not really used to, so it's taking me a second to do the triple click. I don't triple click all the time. My finger really wants to quit clicking after the second one. And now I can grab all of that because the second page is working correctly, so whatever. Perfect. So there's 18. Oh, there's actually a little bit more details from 18. Let's go catch that and add it just in case, because, oh, I actually had it in there already. Hold that thought. Huh, interesting. Well, I had already put that in there, so we're going to go delete the duplicate because don't need it in there twice. Apparently, I just forgot to add it to the map last time. All right, so we'll go ahead and delete this. We can come down to the bottom, danger zone, delete location. It's going to give you all the information. Yes, I really want to delete this because turns out I already had it in here. B18, there we go. Okay, so what we're going to do is come back in here. Couldn't believe I wouldn't have put that in there. Like I thought I remembered using it. Apparently I did. So before I add the other locations, let's go ahead and make sure that they're not actually in here and just not on the map. B24, I don't see them. Okay, just checking. Cool. B24 and 25, we'll add those next then. Back in here. So it's like super thrilling, right? Like I'm basically copying some information from one place to the other, but it becomes super important later when I want to connect things together. Because one of the things that I really don't like doing when I'm GMing is scrolling around in a PDF file looking for things. And sometimes you just got to because you missed something or overlooked something or failed to prepare the right location, but I try to stay far enough ahead that that doesn't happen any more than absolutely necessary. All right. So there's that. I'm not going to add all of those because they have actually had that encounter already, so I'll make this super easy. B25. And creatures. Oh, that's highlighting because it's still from that search that I did earlier. And we'll save that. Okay, so now I can come in here and add B24 and B25. Cool. All right, now we'll go ahead and add these other locations. So 19, I'm just going to do them in numerical order. So we're going to do 19 next. That way I can just scroll through the PDF in one direction, make my life a little bit easier. Blood Geyser. That doesn't sound particularly interesting. That image is even better. Can't imagine that'll be fun. The hilltop geyser is surrounded by a circle of offal. Wow. And this is why I don't want to add, you know, artificial smells to my games or anything like that. That doesn't sound like fun. I don't need the players actually making the gag checks. No to smell-o-vision. I agree. Okay, so this is something that is related to potentially an item that they haven't actually recovered yet. So I've kind of been thinking about how to do this, but I'm going to go ahead and create this as an, oh, I do actually have it in there. Perfect. So we're going to go back in. This is B19. I'm going to associate a game object. So this is an interesting one because the object isn't in this location, which is usually what I would use this for. But if this is a situation where if they have this item, then something else will occur. And so I could also tag this, but I don't think that's what I want to do in this case. What it means though is that once I've tagged once I've connected everything to this pendant, I should be able to come in here. But it doesn't list the locations that it's associated to from here, so I may need to tag it. Okay, so what we're going to do is create a tag. Deluxe pendant visions. Okay. Cool. So now go back into the location 19. I can tag it with visions. While I'm in here, I'll go ahead and tag it book 2. I need to be better about doing that. In fact, let's go ahead. I just created a couple things. I really like having books noted so I know so I can keep track of what's where as I'm looking through things later. Like when did they encounter that, right? Then I can look at which book it was in. These are all player characters. We can also put NPCs in here if we need to. It's actually an interesting, I probably should have put Bargod as technically as an NPC, not a creature. Don't currently have a way for me to change categories on an item once it's in. So that's something we can do later. Yes, our friends at Oddfish Games do have a number of adventure scents. I'm assuming that offal is not one of their scents, but what do I? They have fetid swamp, so not bad, not bad. That it will really. Oh, putrid sewers, perfect, perfect. Yes. So if you want the hyper realism, I mean, go for it. Absolutely. The sense is a really, really strong, I guess, trigger for evoking certain emotions and memories. So that might be a great way to to really get people into the zone, help them really get into their character. Nothing wrong with a little moldy crypt. I mean, what could possibly go wrong there, right? Okay. I need to put Closet's End of the Blood Poet. It's a babao. Just a babao, no big deal. Babao. Okay. Get the Babao in 19. Oh, I'm searching for Babao. Babao is not going to be in here. It is the Blood Poet. That's what I'm looking for. Boom. There we go. There's the Blood Poet attached. And I also need some quasits. So let's create. Do I have quasits in here? I do not. We'll just toss a link and call it a day. 19, Blood Geyser. So a lot of times what I'll do when I'm actually running the game then is I'll just control click open some tabs with the different creatures, and I will either use a notes or a notepad or something to keep track of each individual creature's situation. If I'm using Roll20 or something, I'll use the tokens. We've been doing about 50-50 in person and online for this game, so when we're in Roll20, I'll track the individual tokens that way. Otherwise, I'll just do it on a notepad. But I still want to be able to pull up the description and everything so that I can run the encounter really easily. So I'll have this stuff all open. Associated, there we go. Associate game objects. This is going to be quasits. Okay. Save that. Now we are on to, so let's go ahead and B19. Perfect. Let's go ahead and do B20. That's their waymarker. So, been a number of different waymarkers. Did I put tag? I have vantage points, but not waymarkers. So let's go ahead and create a waymarker. Actually, I don't need a tag for that because I think they're just all called waymarker. Hey, they're all called waymarker. That's pretty self-explanatory. B20 waymarker already exists. I am not very good at tab management. Can you tell? All right, let's come. So I actually have 20 and 21 in here. So let's just add them in here. So I remembered that, but see, the thing is, I use the map. That's just the way I think. I like to see everything on the map, so I prefer to have them here. If they're not in here, I will probably forget they exist. So I need to add 22 and 23 still. 28 and 29 don't exist. So let's go ahead and do 22 and 23. 22, wind swept peak. It is mountain. What do you know? Shocker, shocker. Creatures, 2 living whirlwinds. Summoned centuries ago. Oh, that's fun. So let's save this. B22 windswept peak. It is a vantage point, so let's mark that as a vantage point. It is also in book 2, so let's go ahead and mark that. 17, 27, 19. Let's add some locations. B17. Okay, there we go. B32 I haven't created yet, so that's not there. I don't think I have the whirlwinds in here yet. Okay. Tell you what, we're just going to come back to the windswept peak. There are 2 living whirlwinds. Save that. Not tracking anything special, so those are just going to be links to the data, not a problem. And that's B22. Come back in and B23. Welcome in, Word Maker Spice Merchant. Yeah, that's a good sense. Like, I'm good with that. "200 feet from the exit of the mountain pass at B22. Waymarker's handprint points to the southeast to area B28. Okay. I'm going to attach this to B22 and B28 if it exists. B28 does not exist yet. That's fun. Let's go ahead and add B28. Waymarker. So many waymarkers. This one's in the plains. It goes to B33. Now we'll go ahead and associate that one that I just created. B28. Okay. And the next one is B33. Let's do this. Yeah, let's go ahead and do B33, because my guess is that B33 is also and that's big. All right, so much. That's a huge area. There we go. A waymarker. B33 waymarker. So we come from, let's just expand these. Start from the beginning. B1 waymarker points to B9 waymarker, which points to B15 waymarker, which points to B20 waymarker, which points to B20 goes to B15. Let's just double check that. B20 waymarker goes to B21, the mountain pass. And the next waymarker is B23. So let's also add B23 here. Want to make sure that I can navigate between these seamlessly when the actual day comes. Perfect. Okay. So B23 is clearly the next waymarker. I come in here, and it goes to from B20 to B28. It also attaches to the windswept peak. That's fine. So it goes to B28. B28 waymarker comes from B23. Go. And that's where we're going to go for the next one. B28 goes to B33. All right, and then B33. I gotta go create the next one, so. Goes to B38. So let's go ahead and create B38. I'm just gonna create all those waymarkers now because I gotta link them all together. That way I don't forget any. B38 waymarker. Perfect. And that's B38. There it is. So now I go into B38, and we'll add the next one, which is B47. Really? Huh, B47 is the next area. Interesting. It is not another waymarker. It is a brass pyre. Okay, cool. That's fun. Let's do the creatures. Reputation. There it is. Throughout the remainder of this adventure, the party will frequently interact with Sataki. Most share the following general opinions about the valley's notable figures. All right. Okay. So I need to figure out where to put this public opinion note. I think for now, I'm going to save this. I'm actually going to add it as a note. I don't have a great way to track this that I can think of at the moment. And this is where, like, anytime you're planning, regardless of the tool you're using, Lorelink or anything else, you kind of have to decide how do you want to organize the information. And what's interesting is that the way Paizo chooses to present things inside of a PDF document is not generally the way I think about things. So that's annoying. Um, one of the things I like about LoreLink is it gives me structure, but it still gives me a lot of flexibility to do things however it makes sense to me. On the flip side, I still have so much flexibility that I have to come up with my own structure of how I want things organized. So that's a big part of the challenge sometimes in doing your planning, is figuring out exactly, hey, how do I want to organize the information? How do I want to connect things? How do I want to click around? That sort of thing. So having a game plan before you get started is super useful. I started this series kind of midway, right? Because I'd already been running this campaign for a couple years before I started doing the planning for you live on the stream. So you didn't get to see some of the early attempts or failed attempts at doing things. It also means that I had started working on this campaign before I had the opportunity to move it all into LoreLink. So I did an entire book with very little of it ending up in LoreLink, but now book 2 is almost entirely in LoreLink, and this is what I'm using to run the sessions. So it's getting a little bit smoother. It is Pathfinder 2, although it's important to note that Pathfinder has another update coming out, and I think Archives of Nethys may have a note. Yep, they're working on the player core, GM core update for the remaster. Remaster is 100% compatible with Pathfinder 2. They're not changing any rules. They're just changing some details in order to be able to put it all on their own license and completely break ties from the old open gaming license that they used to originally create Pathfinder 1. So now, Aspire, okay, these are linked together now, cool. So I think all the way markers are in and complete now. So let me zoom over here, B47 exists now. And B33 exists. I think this B38 exists. Cool. Okay, did I do 29? Nope, I still need to create B29. I need 34, 38. Okay. Perfect. All right, looks like the map is caught up. So let's go ahead and create B29. I'm going to do 29 through 30, 29 and 30 at least. That should be enough for today, and then I'll move on to a few other things. That gets the locations mostly done. They're definitely not going to get into the more detailed stuff now. So I think I'm finally getting to a point where I'm actually going to be a session ahead of where the players are, which is going to be great. Yeah, thanks for linking Archives of Nethys. It's worth noting that we do have Archives of Nethys index a little bit out of date. Once they get through the player core update, hopefully we can get an updated database from them and update the index, which means you can actually search. If you have a Pathfinder adventure, you'll be able to search for Pathfinder content directly inside of LoreLink and then link it out to Archives of Nethys. So they've been fantastic. It's really a great reference. Appreciate everything they do to make Pathfinder gaming easier. So I need, 29. Corpse Field. Yeah, that's, some of these names, I tell you what. They definitely are given that vibe of, hey, this is maybe a place you don't want to be. Hyanodons, more hyanodons. We've run into those before. Do I have any in here? Hyanodons? Do I have any? No, apparently not. That's fine. So what we're going to do is just link it out here. Hyanodon. That's a DC 17 nature check. Worth making a note of. Okay. Corpse field, and let's add that here. Be 31 and 30. Let's just do 30. Actually, let's look at what they are. 30. We'll do 30. Scorched Veil and Brimmer. Oh, nice. Scorched Veil. It's hidden. Maybe it should stay hidden, considering what's in there. Creatures, 2 Brimmerax. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Brimmerax reside in this area. Cool. All right, so we got a whole forest fire dealywhack here. So we're going to actually add the forest fire hazard as an event. Because I think it's going to make it easier to manage than having it as part of the description. So I'm going to come out here and create a forest fire. I'm going to do that here. Disable. So this is a hazard 4. Complex environmental fire. That's, yeah, all right. Too many characters. We'll do that. Stoke flames. And routine. I'm gonna mark those. Okay. So we got a lot of details in there. They're already at 6th level, so shouldn't need to worry about that. They're ever so slightly ahead of leveling, maybe? Hard to know. But I don't mind it if my players are just slightly overpowered. Okay, so forest fire, we're going to go to, the trigger is going to be a location, which is going to be, the actual location is Scorched Veil. Sorry, B30 Scorched Veil. Hey, we've got new emotes. Love it. Yeah, by all means, don't fail to use those. Definitely can't forget that. Okay, so we've got this event. Now let's come back into the locations. Let's go back to E30, the Scorched Vale, and we have used by Forest Fire. We've got the details here about the hazard and the fire aftermath, the creatures. We're in good shape there. I think that is all I need to have. Cool. Come back in here and B30. Who knows if they'll even make it up there, because they really kind of seem more interested in coming down here to these other areas. Scorched Vale actually has a battle map, which is cool. Caravan route. And the Ashen Tower itself. So I'll save those for the next planning session. Let's go through and actually figure out the rest of this session. So session 19. So session 17, I can go ahead and archive this. Where are we? Archive. Thank you. This one is completed, but I'm not going to archive it yet. So this one is planning. I'm going to go ahead and do one other thing. Session 20, which is going to be the next one. Double check my calendar. I already have that planned. Believe it or not, sometimes our gaming group can be a month or two ahead on our timing. So it is going to be the 13th, okay, of April. So based upon that, my guess, and I haven't actually talked this over with my team yet, but I'm guessing that my next planning stream is actually going to be April 1st, hilariously. Because if I were to do this, I'm going to be in London the week I would normally do the planning session. So I would rather not do this while I'm traveling. So April 1st will be the next one of these planning sessions. So that's good to know. And we're planning session 20, planning session 19 though right now. So going to continue to connect some things. So let's connect some dots. They were at B26. They are definitely going to go to B27. Going back down to the map. They're then going to come back to the Elder Tree at B17, almost definitely. And currently, the following that they're traveling with are camped out at Vare's Homestead B7. So more than likely, when they're done here, they're going to go up to Vare's Homestead to drop off some stuff, pick up some stuff, and then head back out. So I want to add that location in here as well so that it's ready. Now, this item. Currently, this item is going to exist at B7. So I'm going to come into B7 because I don't want to forget to do this. Associated items, we're going to put this pendant at that location. Then I'm going to do a little bit of a search here because I don't want to miss anything. Let's go actually back to the very first page, the PDF, and we're going to search through this. All right, so A4, which I don't think we have. Yeah, I don't have it. I have Calamity Caves, A4. I do have A4 in here, so perfect. Waterfall A4. So what we're going to do is, yeah, the pendant is actually in there. Perfect. And we're going to go ahead and tag A4 with the visions tag. Okay. I'm actually going to go ahead and tag the item this way as well, since the item itself is related to the having of visions. That'll help me keep things tracked, because when I click on the visions, now it's going to show me everything that's associated, right? So we're going to continue searching through here for locations that might give visions. This is A21. Tainted Grove. The party wisely decided not to deal with this area and just to bypass it completely. So that's fun. I don't think I have A21 in here because they decided not to deal with it. Calamity Caves. Go ahead and create A21. They were going through here just as I was kind of starting to put things into Lore Link, so not everything's in here yet. You'll note that I've kind of changed my approach on the others. I'm putting the numbers first instead of last, but I'll go ahead and be consistent. If I'm going to spend the time to put the description, the location in, I'm going to go ahead and copy the description. I don't see why not. They're unlikely to backtrack to come in here, but so I'm not going to bother putting all the creature details in here. But what I am going to do is make sure that this is in here. Mark the vision. Okay, so the Tainted Grove also gets the vision. Note. Boom. Okay, next location, the Dark Camp, B14. Has a vision. Okay. Next, the Blood Geyser, B19. I think the B19 is already flagged. B19 is already in there. Okay, cool. B27. All right. Okay, and what else do we have? Waiting for the PDF to load. All right. One final vision. So what we're going to do is actually go to, in the tag itself, add that to the description on the tag. And we're going to attach that to Valley's exit. Yeah, that's not in there yet, so I'm not going to bother. So, okay, we've got now everything tagged with the vision. So they don't have the pendant because they actually ended up skipping the area where they would pick up the pendant. They sent others in to clean the area and deal with the animals, which I encourage the players to do what makes sense. And honestly, the books have set them up. They've got this whole following, this whole group of people and animals that are like they're tribesmen. They're there. They're working together. So they're putting people who are so well to work together. And so why not let these really skilled people do what they're skilled at? And that means in some cases that they end up bypassing some things. So what I'm going to have happen is when they go to talk to the following next, they're going to encounter somebody that was there and recovered the pendant and had the initial vision, and they're going to be given a recap of what that vision is. Then one member of the party is going to take the pendant. When that happens, they're going to have all the visions of all the places they've been that are associated with that. So that's how I'm going to handle kind of backtracking this in a way that makes sense so that I don't break continuity with what the party has chosen to do up to this point. And that's what happens. Sometimes you got to get creative when your players do things in a slightly different way than maybe the way the adventure was written. So subscribing for emotes. Yeah, by all means, we have great emotes. Subscribe and get yours. We have a couple subscribers now anyway. We've got 55 followers. Please do, if you're enjoying any of our content, if you're enjoying Lorelink, the product, please give us a subscribe or a follow here on Twitch, and we appreciate it. If you're on YouTube, please do subscribe on YouTube as well. Happy to have you out there. All right, just a few more minutes. Let me just make sure that this is really good to go. So we've added a few things. I've got these locations. I've got Vera's Homestead. Vera's Homestead is now tagged with the vision. So that's good. Double checking the map. So they're here. I'm gonna go back here. It's very possible that they'll end up at either the Blood Geyser or the Dark Camp on their way up. So I'm gonna go ahead and add B19, B14. Okay, so those are both in there. There is a distinct possibility that they'll come in through here. So 2021, 22, 23. 2022. Get these added in there. Okay, 2021, 2023. Okay, cool. So the elder tree and the corrupted tree are kind of linked locations, so let's go ahead and link those. Okay, cool. Now, they're starting at B27, the corrupted tree. This is going to be where they start. So I'm going to read through this and make sure that I know what's going on and add any notes that I feel I need to add. Dark and rotten. Like B26. So I can do that to link that location. Let's see, DC24, we're saving through contact. Choking death. Choking death sounds bad. Let's review the rules in choking death. '22 fortitude saving through. Onset 1 day. Worst voice with no other symptoms. 1 day. Stage 2. Drained 1. Stage 3. Drained 2 and can't speak. Stage 4. Yikes. That's bad. That's bad. Okay, a huge tree, 400 feet tall. Yep, we know about this. From B17. It's about aggressive beneath its boughs. Yep. We have visions marked. Okay, good. So we'll make a special note of the vision there in the read aloud. Interesting. Okay, let's do that. If Bargat has shown the seed gift, if Bargat has shown the seed given to him by his sister Dephilia, B17. Ah, yeah, he must attempt a DC 20 will saving throw. A failure becomes stunned for 1 round, then slowed for the remainder of their encounter. On a success, he becomes slowed for 1 round. Okay, so they can show him that to make things easier. That's good to note. When the corrupted elder tree is defeated, he falls prone, immobilized with pain. So they have to just defeat the tree without hurting him. Suffering from a dryad tree's dependency. Can ease his pain with a medicine check. "24-hour ritual to bond himself to the tree." Okay. Once he's saved, he'll share what he knows about the cause of the tree's corruption. And they can gain the pine leshies in the following. Sweet. Okay. Save that, and it's associated with those, okay? And used by the encounter event. Bargot at the corrupted tree. I have the corrupted tree and Bargot there, LinkedIn. Okay, cool. So that is how we're going to start. That is going to be the bulk of it. And they're going to end up bouncing around to, they're going to come back here, the way marker. That's when where things kind of, I'm not entirely sure what they're going to do. My bet is that once they're here already, my bet is they're going to retrace the same direction they've been going as opposed to going a new location because they don't want to risk having unknown encounters. So my guess is they're going to come back through here to the elder tree. And from there, they're going to go north, search this out, find the dark camp, and then go to the homestead. So let's review B14. Again, I'm making big time guesses here. B14 dark camp. Character, so it's another vision location, of course it is. Camp along the river in the valley here. Permanent 4th level darkness spell. Nice. That's used a century ago. That's a long time for the camp to even still exist. 2 shadows, wow. Two shadows, yeah, shadows are terrifying creatures. Okay. Just a little encounter with some shadows and not a lot else, okay. And then, again, they're gonna then come back up here and then, presumably, they're gonna come through the mountain pass because they've started getting really curious about what's up here and interested in the vantage point and the way, following the way markers because you've got a way marker here pointing up and over and then out here. So the way markers are kind of pointing out towards the brass pyre, which is kind of curious on the other side. Now, in order to get through the valley, the characters are going to have to deal with, I think it's B31 or B32. We've got the tower right here, and they know they're going to have to deal with that before they can get very far. So that will be probably coming up in maybe session 20 or 21 would be my guess is they're gonna take on the tower. My guess is next session they're gonna do what I just said. Session 20 they're gonna end up doing a bunch of planning for how to take on the tower, and then they're gonna end up taking on the tower. But what it means is the next planning session, which will be in a little over a month, because this, I know it's February, but this is technically planning for my March game. April 1st, I'll be back to do I'll recap kind of what happened for you. I just realized I haven't been doing that very well. So I'll recap what happened in the last adventure, and then we will do the planning for the next series session. So I will, let's see, go back to the sessions really quickly. So let me do it really quick. My guess is that this is more than likely saving the Dryad and exploring the mountain. This is my guess. If I'm wrong, I'll update these. My guess of session 20 is planning to take on the tower, and then session 21 probably will be taking on the tower. So I will put my notes in, and next planning session, right here on Twitch and YouTube, I will walk you through kind of what they ended up doing after I made my predictions. We'll see what they actually ended up doing in session 19, which is next week. And then we will do the planning for session 20 based upon where they're at that point in time. So thank you all for being with me tonight. I look forward to talking with you again in a week. Don't forget, tomorrow, Mark will be back online and is doing the new Warhammer expansion for completely drawing a blank, for Power Wash Simulator. That's it, Power Wash Simulator. So that should be fun. So please come back tomorrow night and have a great evening.